Next up, Asahit Shah, 5216. Ever since I heard that Kurt Malay podcast, I was hooked. But honestly, I had no clue what a beast Caleb is until I ordered his book, Monetization, the very same day. Turns out I literally was leaving $70 to $76 per order, and that's after only applying one profit center, the one you talked about on the channel with Mark Ling, I believe. Anyways, man, I honestly haven't done 98% of the work you've mentioned in the book. I went straight to the profit centers, hoping to add as many as possible. And now I'm wondering how much conversion rate I might be able to increase just by creating that entire mega list you recommend that Gary Halbert forced you to make before you create any offer.
Yeah. Well, firstly, Kurt Malley is a beast of a media buyer, and I must admit that I learned a lot from Kurt Malley. And yeah, that tactic, can't remember what profit center it was in the book, but yeah, the pre-order form bump strategy is profound. Anytime you can add an extra $70 to $76 per sale to your average order value is a damn good day in the world of advertising. I can tell you that. And there's few tactics that can do that overnight. You know, the pre-order form bump offer is one of them. That's a beast of a tactic. You know, if you're not anyone that's running a sales funnel that's not doing that, you need to urgently, here's a sales pitch, you need to urgently go get your hands on that book. And you need to urgently test that, because that could literally transform the math of your funnel in about 72 hours, if not 24 hours. It's a big deal.
And on that work conversion rate, what you're talking about is out of the book Monetization. There is
You're heading ready.
chapter called The 10 Theories. And I will tell you that it's probably been more than 20 years ago now. I absolutely changed my life in 3 days in a hotel room. Really, I mean, not far at all from my house. I would get up in the morning, I would go to that hotel room, and I worked for 3 days and did a lot of the work that is talked about in this book, Monetization, in the 10 days. And consider taking a vacation without Wi-Fi, turn off your phone, and do a couple of days of that hard work. You might actually discover it changes your life.
Yeah, you know, you remind me there. I actually was talking to Bond Halbert about this recently. Bond, was telling me that Gary Halbert used to go to libraries and spend all day working in the library, because the act of going into an environment where everything is quiet, there's no distractions, and everyone's attention is completely focused on studying and concentrating, that feeding off that energy can actually get your work done not only a lot faster, but to a much greater degree of effectiveness. When I was living with Gary in Miami, there was not a place near us, not a library near us that we went to. But what Gary used to do is exactly what you just mentioned there, Rob. And that is, we would head off like 15, 20 minutes away from where we lived, and we would stay in a hotel for like the weekend and just literally spend like all weekend working on copy. The act of going to some place that is distractionless, where you're just there for one reason and one reason only, is a very, very powerful activity for getting a lot of work done in a very short period of time, and getting it done with tremendous focus. And oftentimes that work turns out to be far more effective, far more rewarding, far more valuable than if you were to spread it out over time.
And if you pick the right hotel, you can get some free waffles,
Which is most important. Yeah. So great stuff.